The new Mustang Dark Horse SE has just been revealed today.
Wow!
On Red Bull's YouTube channel, a new Mustang has emerged, the Dark Horse SC. Now the thing is, Ford has been very tight-lipped about what the SC even is. All we know is that it's a 2006, it's a Ford Mustang, obviously, and the trim level is called Dark Horse SC. Now, as to what SC stands for, as we can tell by this clip right here, pretty obvious that it is supercharged, but what about the rest? Besides just throwing a supercharger onto a Dark Horse, what is the Mustang SC? Here's my thoughts. I see the Dark Horse SC as being a spiritual successor to the 2000 Cobra R. Here's why. The red paint, the large wing. My guess is that this is going to be a true weekend warrior version of the Dark Horse with a lot of extra horsepower. Very similar to the 2000 Cobra R. On the interior shots, we can actually see a couple other hints. They have the seats covered, except for what the driver is in. It looks like that's a custom bucket seat. But in the back there, you can actually see an X-brace in the rear seat. So that makes me think that this is going to be potentially a stripped version of the Dark Horse. I believe last generation they did something similar for the GT350R, where it was pretty much an engine, a transmission, a shell, and just about nothing else. So my guess is when it comes to the Ford Mustang Dark Horse SC, this is going to be really a track-focused, high horsepower version of the Dark Horse. So I'm not expecting to see air conditioning or a stereo or any other of the usual niceties, though I'm absolutely sure Ford will make it an option package if you want to add that all back in. Body-wise, it looks like the car is actually wider, so it has a wide body kit. And another thing I like is I love how that hood looks. Again, I see this as another great callback to the 2000 Cobra R with the reverse open vents. Ironically, I've actually looked at old video clips of the Cobra R from 2000. It doesn't look like they were actually open, but of course on this one it probably is. Now here's the thing that I do wonder. Is the Dark Horse SC going to be the new top dog Mustang? And when I say top dog Mustang, I mean attainable. Because there's already the Mustang GTP, but that is genuinely in another tax bracket. Because another thing the Mustang faithful have been asking for is a successor to the Ford GT500 from the last generation. I've driven a Ford GT500 and you feel the 760 horsepower on the track. I mean, it really is ridiculous how fast that car is in a straight line. Hearing that there's a supercharger on this engine, I mean, unless that is the absolute worst alternator and belt squeal that Ford could have genuinely invented, can we expect more than 760 horsepower from this car? It would be great, because it would be kind of a step back if we put a supercharger on this engine and only did 700. I mean, 700 has already been the broken high water mark of engine horsepower, so could we see 800 horsepower from the Dark Horse SC? On the flip side, are we still set to see the Ford Mustang GT500 come back? My guess is we're actually moving away from from classic Mustang names. When it comes to this generation Mustang, it's been the Dark Horse. We've been doing the FX package. We're really trying to move forward instead of looking back for inspiration. I actually don't think we're going to have a GT500. This is going to be the GT500. Lineup wise, last generation we had the GT350 and the 500. This time around we have the Dark Horse and the Dark Horse SC. The real question is, how much is this car going to cost? With the Mustang GT being right around $50,000, I will be shocked if a Dark Horse SC is under $100,000. It's kind of funny saying that like this is probably the most powerful attainable Ford Mustang muscle car you can get, when $100,000 for a Mustang is kind of unheard of. The Mustang GTP really isn't a different demographic. It's really its own separate category. I mean, at this point, it pretty much shares the pony and the grill. Recently, Dodge has made a big about face with the Charger, which they really needed to do. And they are actually now going to be putting the Hellcat engine into the current Dodge Charger. I almost wonder if we're going to start seeing another horsepower war heating up again, especially after sort of a brief pause for electrification. Seems like we're kind of like, okay, we tried electrification, we got a little bit tired of that, now we're going back to big power. Ford F-150 is getting canceled. Dodge has kind of virtually abandoned its electric plans. Are we starting to see big horsepower engines come back? So what do you think? Do you think the Ford Mustang Dark Horse SC is going to be the dedicated top dog track car, or is this just going to be a fancy Dark Horse with a supercharger on it, destined to live its life sitting in a garage, being driven to cars and coffee, and maybe raced? Let me know down in the comments. I personally think that the Dark Horse SC actually is going to be the track-focused, high horsepower car that I'm pretty much thinking it's going to be. But like the GT350R from the last generation, Ford will absolutely make an option package to add in all the nice luxury touches that they ripped out for people who want the fast car but they want to be nice. My other thought is this is going to be automatic only. I believe the last generation GT500 was as well. Sure, I am a little bit of a manual elitist. On the flip side though, when I drove a GT500, I was glad that it was an automatic because that thing snapped off, shifts faster than I could have ever comprehended, especially with how fast you're going. Let me know what you think down below, because honestly, this might be the birth of an 800 horsepower stock Mustang. Hey, thank you so much for watching Brown Roush. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. I think I have the button over here. I'm really big into data and just make sure everything's right. So leave me a comment down below about what you liked about this video, what you don't. I actually do read all the comments, even the mean ones. And feel free to follow me on Instagram, TikTok. It's Brown_Roush.